Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. We have 6 minutes left in the closing auction. Not exactly 6 minutes, but around about that. So I'm starting this video a little bit early on this last trading day of March, last trading day of the quarter also, which means April is Appendix 4C and 5B month, or if you don't know what those two things are, quarterly reporting month. So small companies on the ASX, typically non-profitable companies, have to provide the market a quarterly report. And in that quarterly report is a cash flow statement. So we can see how the company is performing. Now, the main reason I have started this video a little bit early, I have not waited until the closing auction has come to completion, is because of what is happening with Zip right now. So Zip share price fell or has fallen at least 6.7% today. A nice little rally in the last 10 minutes. Share price fell all the way down to $1.37.5. And today, if we just have a look at the chart, consistent, persistent selling today. So when the overall market is up 1%, you don't want to see a company down a fair bit. So one really bad one-day candlestick, and we can see the high of the day was almost on open, the low of the day possibly on close, and that just means just consistent, persistent selling. Now, the only thing, not much volume. Well, not as much volume as what we have seen. So this was just people dumping on market. That's all it takes to drive the share price down when you don't have a lot of volume. Just dumping on market. And that could lead, and one of the reasons institutions might do that is to flush out the weak hands. So this could be just, I wouldn't say buy the dip, but it could be just one of those situations where it's just flushing out the weak hands, or it could be people just dumping on market, getting out of their positions. Now, why I wanted to record this video is we are now in the closing auction, and I noticed the indicated price is around $1.36 last time I looked. The main reason behind that is someone put in an order, over 1 million shares at $1.34. And I'm wondering, there it is there, I'm wondering if that's going to be pulled. I actually see this quite often when you have these big bids put in during the closing auction, and all of a sudden they're just pulled, miraculously pulled. And that would be an indication, particularly if it is pulled, that is an indication that they're trying to flush out those weaker hands, because people are looking at this going, oh, indicated price, $1.37, I've got to sell, I've got to sell. And the share price at these levels is at a really important support level, which I'll touch upon in a second. So we have about 5 minutes to go, do we? Yeah, about 3.5 minutes to go before we see the end of the closing auction. And that sell bid or order has not been pulled. So there is potential the share price for Zip will close at the daily low, which is a really bad one-day candlestick. But this has happened to Zip in the past. In fact, it happened on the 27th of February. So not that long ago, share price on that particular day fell 14.4%. A really negative day, a really bad one-day candlestick. And see it opened at the high of the day, closed at the low of the day, but it closed on a really important support level. And then the next day, share price rose 13%. And the day after that, it rose 6%. The day after that, rose 5%. The day after that, rose 6%. So that could have been more flushing out of weak hands, but higher volume on that day. So this is not necessarily a bad day because we just don't know what's going to happen the next few trading days. And possibly this could be just traders getting out before the long weekend. Don't know. So even though I am trading Zip right now, I'm definitely not selling out of my position today. If I do sell out, more than likely it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday if I see this weakness continue. And that would mean I'm still going to take a profit, but it's a much smaller profit than I could have taken just this morning. So very close to the closing auction. Hasn't been pulled yet, so this could be a legit sell, legit order to sell over $1 million worth of shares. In fact, let's have a look at the orders. In fact, yeah, it'd be about 1 million, almost $1.5 million worth of shares. If they sold it this morning, those same shares, they could have got an extra 100 and we'll say the high today was $1.54, 14 cents. They could have got about $150,000 extra. Yes, $150,000 extra if they sold this morning when the share price was at its high. So it hasn't been pulled yet, and it does look like the share price will close at the daily low, which does mean it's a negative one-day candlestick. But again, maybe it's just a trader getting out. Maybe they're going to lose a lot of money because possibly they're selling at the low, and maybe the share price will go on a bit of a zoom on Tuesday. Anyway, so that's the whole reason why I just want to talk about or start this video early today is just talk about Zip. Really interesting trading. I actually started following this about 20 minutes before the close of trading because I did actually see the share price down a fair bit. Went down $1.37, and then we saw a nice little rally in the last 10 minutes, which I thought, oh, that's pretty good, showing a little bit of strength. And it just shows you sometimes a little bit of strength before closing or on closing can be destroyed by the closing auction, particularly if someone just panics and sells $1.5 million worth of shares during that time. And there we go. Well, we actually don't know if it was pulled. I have a feeling it was pulled because the share price closed at $1.39. And I think if it was pulled, definitely this was an institution trying to get weaker hands to sell out. We can't get confirmation that it was pulled because we probably won't see an order of $1 million here. Yeah. So it's sort of, you do see a lot of manipulation in the closing auction, a fair bit of manipulation in the closing auction, to be honest with you. And the whole reason is exactly what I've been talking about, just forcing out weak hands, that sort of thing. But I don't really buy and sell much in the closing auction. Sometimes I will buy and sell in the opening auction, but typically not in the closing auction. Anyway, one of the things I don't like to do is actually follow trading 6 hours a day. I hate doing that, but sometimes I will come back to the computer a little bit just before the closing auction begins, just to see these sort of interesting happenings, these machinations happening during the closing auctions, because I do find it fascinating. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about Zip. I might show you the chart later in the video if I remember. In fact, let's have a look at the chart now. So, in fact, we'll have a look at the 5-minute chart, and you can see just consistent selling all day. And the share price, a very important level for Zip, is right at $1.39. So $1.38, $1.39. And the share price was hovering around this level before closing, before we saw a little bit of rally up to $1.40. So share price has moved to an important level. Now, interesting, on open, the share price of Zip opened up 3% higher. So you can just see the volatility in day. And the same thing happened yesterday on Thursday. Share price rallied on open, went all the way up to a high of $1.59. So we have seen a little bit of selling, but not a lot of selling. And why I mean not a lot of selling is we haven't seen high volume the last 2 days. So if I did see high volume today, I might have been a little bit concerned. But we are going to see that because the share price of this company has increased a fair bit over the last 3 or 4 months. In fact, start of November, share price of Zip was below 30 cents. So 4 months ago, share price of this company was below 30 cents. So the share price of Zip, or the valuation of Zip, has increased, well, has quadrupled in price or valuation in 4 months. Was November 4 months ago? We're in April, March, February, January, or 5 months ago. So 5 months ago, in 5 months, it has quadrupled in valuation. And when the valuation of something goes up like that, you are going to see moments where you see profit taken. So not selling out of my trading position in Zip, unless I see weakness on Tuesday or Wednesday. Wouldn't be surprised to see the share price take off again if the selling has come to an end. Now, let's have a look at what happened on the markets today. Hopefully, it's all been updated. The last trading day of the week and the month. So, good day on the markets. I'm not sure why we had a really good day when the NASDAQ at one point this morning was down. And the NASDAQ had a really nice little rally. Oh, in fact, the American markets had a nice little rally. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ was up 0.4%, Dow Jones 1.22%. But let's have a look at the Dow Jones, and we'll go to the 5-minute. So there was a really nice rally in the last, would have been the last the last 30 minutes, the Dow Jones went from 39,560 to 39,760, so up about 0.7%. And the Nasdaq went from being in the red to being in the green. So in fact, there was a nice little, in fact, just with this nice little support level at that right there. You can see it all during the day. The Nasdaq was really struggling getting below that level, and then the last 30 minutes again, a nice little rally. So it went from 18,180 up to 18,280, which means it rose 100 points in that 30 minutes, which means because it was up 70 points in the day, it went from being negative to being positive. And that's interesting because it sort of was a reverse of what happened in the first 30 minutes of the day. In fact, the Nasdaq fell significantly in that first 30 minutes. So a pretty volatile day on the Nasdaq. So a little bit surprised to see us up 1% just based off the Nasdaq, but the Dow Jones up 1.2% makes me think that a lot of the bigger companies on the ASX might have had a good day. And we had the, let's see if this is updated. So what I'm just going to do is just look at ComSec. Yeah, it looks like it's updated. So market index has updated, not quite up 1%, the 200, the All Ords, both at 0.99%. Good day for the Small Ords, up 1.45%. Not quite as good day for the tech, which is understandable because NASDAQ struggled a little bit more than the Dow Jones, so only up 0.5%. And resources had absolutely stellar day, up 1.62%. We can also have a look at the week. Let's do that. We'll have a look at the week as well. So every single sector was in the green. Materials up 1.8%, financials only up 0.38%. Might have actually expected financials to have a better day since the Dow Jones had a good day. Gold, a ripper of a day, 2.53% up. It's resources again, small ords, we already know that. And let's have a look to see if any indice was down today. No! What a great day for the ASX, apart from Zip and a few other companies which were down. And the banks were the worst performing sector. Financials, second worst performing. Let's go back and let's have a look at the week. Let's have a look at the week. Best sector this week was real estate, and then healthcare and utilities. Not a great week there, and IT only up 0.38%. So it does definitely look like real estate was the place to be in the past week. And I have one real estate company. That's Goodman Group. Wonder how much Goodman Group was up this week. Let's have a look. I'm assuming it was a pretty good week. Oh, that's an absolutely stellar week. So up from $32 to $33.80. Okay. Probably REITs had a pretty good week as well. In fact, we can look at REITs right now. I do have a REIT watch list. So let's have a look at the REITs. I don't think this is all of them. REITs had a good day. So let's have a look at Charter Hall Long Whale. This is 5 minute. We don't have a look at the 5 minute chart. Not that great. Dexus Convenience, not that great. Wonder if it was like Charter Hall that had a good week. Charter Hall had an okay week. Region, yeah, Region had a pretty good week. That looks pretty good, this chart. And Centuria Industrial, down. Okay, so not all. I thought maybe REITs had a pretty good week based off what I just saw on market index. Let's have a look at the indices, and gold up 7.4%. Hopefully you're owning some gold companies, and based off that, I'm assuming gold is still doing pretty well. So let's go to have a look at gold. Yeah, it's okay. It's not absolutely stunning, but it's okay. I suppose it has gone up from 2,160 to almost 2,200, but this is a beautiful looking chart. It broke out a month ago and has climbed. This just shows you that technical analysis does work, because it took a massive amount of time, 2.5 years or something like that, to break above 2080. Whenever it got to 2080, we saw some pressure on the price of gold until it broke out above it, and it just went on a massive tear since then. Just shows you technical analysis does work. So don't listen to those people who say technical analysis is not. It's like a, what do they say? The worst one is it's like voodoo or astrology. There's no truth. There's no validity to it, which is absolutely rubbish. Those who say that have never had a look, have never even, are not open-minded. They're very closed-minded. They've been taught that it does not work, and they've not tested their biases. One of the most important things in life is to test your biases to see if there's true. And one of the problems today, among most people is they have biases and they never test their biases. I have biases. I would say I try to test some of my biases, but not some of them. For instance, I'm not a religious person, but I have been watching some religious films just to test my biases. I'm a skeptic in terms of many things like ghosts and all that sort of thing. I don't believe in all that, but I still test it. I still listen to stories just to see if there's any validity to it. Now, even though I'm a skeptic, I still believe there's aliens because when you look at the size of the universe, it would be statistically impossible for us to be the only living things in the universe, even the only intelligent things in the universe. Statistically, almost impossible. Anyway, bit of a rant there. And I don't really want to look at anything else on the charts. We've had a look at the what's happened on the Australian markets in the past week. Really good week. So the ASX 200 up 2.6%, the odds up 2.5%. So hopefully your own portfolios have had a great week. Now on to announcements today. Quite a few announcements, starting with Besra and Paykel. So I'm not going to go through the announcements, because if you've watched my recent videos, you know I get really peeved off by CommSec whenever ETFs release stuff like final dividend distribution for period. For some reason, CommSec just doubles up on these announcements. I think about 9 times over. 9 times over. So you get a massive amount of announcements. You have to scroll, and then finally, and then have 2 lots of these, maybe 3 lots. Anyway, the first announcement today was Fisher and Paykel initiates voluntary limited recall. Now, this is just I am trading Fisher and Paykel. They released a positive trading update about a week ago. On the back of that, I took a trading position. This is not the sort of announcement that I thought the market would not get too concerned about. Share price actually did fall today, down 2.75%. But the most interesting, and when I opened up this announcement and read, I went, this is nothing. It's something about a product they released in 2017, and it's not going to cost Fisher & Paykel much. But probably the most interesting thing about Fisher & Paykel, and this is actually one of the companies I came back to look at to see how they perform today. When you look at Fisher & Paykel, the trading today in this company was pretty interesting, to say the least. Yes, I am watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. So sometimes I'll say pretty interesting at times. So to see how it was pretty interesting today, let's have a look at the 5-minute chart. So as you would think, there was a recall for a product. So on open, there was a bit of selling. Share price dropped 2.2%. In fact, it dropped all the way down to $23.57. Then the share price rallied back up to $24.30. The share price, it closed yesterday on Thursday, the 27th of March. Now you notice there wasn't much volume when the share price got up to $24.30. And then all of a sudden, just after lunch, there was massive selling. I have a feeling, look at the volume, massive volume. So we didn't see the volume on open. We saw the volume in the last 2 or 3 hours of trading, which makes me think this was an institution just getting out, just selling in lumps from about 1 o'clock. And then the share price just went from $24.30 all the way down to $23.25. And then the selling stopped. And we did see a little bit of buying coming in. And it's really understandable to see the share price really not get below, whenever the share price got below about $23.30, we saw some buying coming in. And it's really interesting to see in the closing auction, I think this is a closing auction. No, it wouldn't be quite yet. In the last 5 minutes of trading, share price popped up from $23.32 to $23.60. And the share price closed. Let's have a look at what the share price closed for Fisher & Paykel. $23.66. So up here, so a little bit of buying during the closing auction as well. Now, the most important thing when it comes to Fisher & Paykel is my sell point for this company was $23.50. Now, I don't take advantage of stop losses. Now, probably if I did use stop losses, I probably would have put the stop loss below $23.50. Probably would have put it maybe $23.25, something like that. Because if I did put a stop loss at $23.50, I would have been stopped out today, and I didn't want that. I don't want to be stopped out during trading. I want to make the decision to sell myself. That's why I don't use stop losses. And the other reason is because sometimes intraday you can see a rally in the share price, and the share price of Fisher and Paykel has moved back above 23.50 and is now at $23.60. Now, it doesn't mean the share price will stay above 23.50, but I can see just by the buying coming in today, and the one-day candlestick shows me a little bit of strength below 23.50, that 23.50 is probably a nice little support level for this company moving forward. So another company alongside Zip that I'm going to keep close attention to next Tuesday, Wednesday, and if I see more pressure on the share price, I will take a small loss in this company. And again, the number one rule when it comes to my trading strategy, technical analysis trading strategy, is don't lose money. Now, that's overall, and the best way not to lose money is to sell your losers at small losses and ride your winners as much as possible. It makes sense, that sort of strategy. And I'm proving that right now, if I may say so myself. So not every single trade I make is going to be successful. I'm looking at a 60 to 70% success rate. At this point in time, I've done the statistics on it. I think I'm about 70% success rate at this point in time. And that's all I need. If I sell those losers for a small loss, that's fine, because I know some of my trades will be winners and some of my trades have been absolutely doozers, whatever you call them. Okay, so Fisher and Paykel. The next company I want to look at is a company I've never heard of, and I probably wouldn't have looked at this company. Let's just zoom in a bit. Company I've never heard of before, and that company is called Allup Silica Limited. They released a couple of announcements at 8:23 a.m., which in itself didn't cause me any excitement. I moved on to the next announcement. So Allup Silica, test work completion yields exceptional high purity results. Cabbage spot silica project returns high-grade silica. Now, I do know silica, like the pure silica, has a purity of like 99.999999999%. I'm being a little bit dramatic there, or hyperbolic there, saying that. I have not had a look at this announcement at all. Did not even open up. But I do know that Allup Silica, more than likely, is the best performing company on the ASX today. Share price of this company rose 110%. In fact, just by looking at the chart here on ComSec, share price actually did fall during the day. Share price at one point got above 10 cents and closed at 6.1 cents, which is a concern, which tells me more than likely in that first 30 minutes or so, this was a plaything for traders. So we're going to have a look at the chart in a second. So maybe I shouldn't even open up the announcement. It's just cause excitement in the trading community, the day trading community. That's what I'm thinking right now. And we'll have a look at the chart in a second. So their purity was 99. Don't want to zoom in. Their purity was 99.84%. I don't know if that's really good. I'm pretty sure really, really good was 99.99%. Maybe I'm making things up. Yeah, so anyway, so maybe that is really good. The market liked it, but again, I think it could be just a plaything. So let's have a look at the chart for Allup Allup Australian Police System. What's it called again? Allup Silica Limited. I should have known S is silica, but P just comes from the last letter in there. Okay, so this is not a breakout. In fact, share price has been a downtrend for a long time. And one of the reasons possibly why the share price did fall a fair bit today, share price went to a high of 13 cents. So those who bought at 13 cents are down over 50% just today. So even though the share price rose 100%, some people are down over 50%. So let's have a look at the 5-minute chart. And I think if you do see the share price reach a high, in fact, the share price reached a high in the first 15 minutes of trading at 9:20. In fact, let's have a look at the 1-minute chart just to verify exactly what minute. So massive interest in the first 20 minutes. The share price reached its high at 9:22 a.m. and then the selling came in force. So in fact, this one-day candlestick for Allup Silica is a really negative one-day candlestick. Share price closed at 5.7 cents or thereabouts. What was it again? Let's have a look. Don't think that's updated yet. No, it's not quite updated. ASP is as per mount. So this must have been APS. Yes, APS. Allup Silica closed at 89.66%. Why did ComSec say it was up 110%? That might not be updated. Oh, yeah. So anyway, a lot of selling during the day for Allup Silica, and this is not a breakout. And again, one of the reasons to go through this process is to find companies that have broken out. And sometimes this process takes 5 minutes, but because I'm doing videos, it's taking a little bit longer than that. But I'm okay with doing that. So definitely not a company that interests me. What is the market cap of this company? Let's have a look. ASP. Oh, it did the same thing again. APS. Market cap probably $10 million. Market cap 2.2 million. Oh. Okay, and we saw this with another company called Osteopore, a really small market cap, and the day traders got really excited. And that is one thing I've discovered, that sometimes you can get these massive increase in share price of really, really micro nano cap companies, but it's you're in it for a really short time, not a good time. Wait there. You're in it for a really short time or a good time, not for the long time, because this is exactly what happens with these type of companies. Share price pops up and you have to get out pretty quickly, because in one day, some people have lost over 50% because their timing was absolutely terrible. And I can tell you, this company would have popped up on a lot of day traders scanners in the first 20 minutes, and some people might have bought this at 13 cents, thinking, "Oh, it's going to the moon," and then saw their profits dwindle, which is why they say 99% of day traders lose money. All right, so let's go on to the next announcement. Probably AIC Mines. I believe I am going to do a financial year 23 video on this company. So they did release a significant increase in Jericho ore reserves. Share price rallied 7.5%. I won't look at that announcement, but I will do a video on that company soon. EnviroSuite, strategy update, product consolidation. That company needs definitely a change in strategy. I do like that company, but the potential of the company, but they haven't got close to realizing the potential at all. And you can see that with the chart. Share price, a long-term downtrend. I was a share of this company way back. Share price now at 5.7 cents. Was as low as 5 cents recently in September. If you look at the weekly chart, sentiment in this company is at longer-term lows. Share price got down to these levels back in 2018. So they do need to become profitable. If this company became profitable, that's when I'll become interested in EnviroSuite. Anyway, I didn't really want to talk about EnviroSuite. So let's have a look at the next company. Company called GOW. GOW Brothers, 907. That's why I had to write it down, because I have to go all the way up here. So Gowing Brothers released a half year today. So let's have a look at Gowing Brothers. I can tell you right now, I have never had a look at this company ever. Gowing Brothers. Let's have a look at Gowing Brothers and the half-year reports. Can we find a company with potential here? What do they do? Investing together for a secure future. Established 1868. I wonder if the founders are in this company. Do you reckon the founders might be like the CEO? I'm thinking not. Established 1868, 156 years of trading. Sure, that gives a bit of a clue what they do. So are they like traders, or are they investments, that sort of thing? Now, sometimes in a company's interim financial report, they will have an about section. Now, this company does provide their shareholders with a dividend, have revenue of 35.1 million in a half year, profit of 2.4 million, so not a big company. Net asset per shares of $3.92 before tax on unrealized gains. That's important, because they might have some significant tax if they have some pretty big realized gains. I would prefer net assets per share after tax on realized gains or unrealized gains. I would prefer that. So let's have a look at the share price of this company, GOW. $2.28. The market liked it, by the way. Let's have a look at the market capitalization, 117.2 million. Dividend yield 2.7%. Okay. Summary in ComSec. This company is involved in investment and wealth management. The company maintains and actively manages a diversified portfolio of assets, including long-term equity and similar securities, investment properties, managed private equity, property development, projects, and cash. A diversified investment company. They do say diversified and investment and company in that summary, but not altogether. I will call this company a diversified investment company. Let's see if they say anything else. Zoom in. I'd like to know what sort of investments they have made. Successfully renegotiating renewal of the lease with Coles, so property. And maybe something to do with Coff Central rooftop solar. So maybe they own some shopping centres. And I know Coff Central fairly well, even though I don't live there. I stop there every time I go to see my parents. EV charging stations at Coffs and Ports and Port Macquarie. Community geothermal system at Sawtell Commons. Let's see, okay. Their subsidiary Gowing Surf Hardware International. I don't think they're going to go into detail on what their investments are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at their annual report. So I might have to go back in time a little bit. So preliminary final report, correction to annual report. Annual report to shareholders released in October. Hopefully they will give us some of their investments in this. That's what they should do in an annual report. So nice little, it's a pretty nice actually title page. Gowing. Okay. Okay, a review of operations. Let's have a look. So net assets per share up and down, operational profit up and down. I would never look at operational profit for this company because it's going to be up and down quite violently at times. Okay, here we have a sort of an idea on this left-hand side, some of their investments. So strategic investments, Surf Hardware International, Cobram Estates Olives, which is interesting because I'm trading that company, Dice Molecules, Carlton Investments, Power Pollen Accelerated Ag Technology. So looks like most of these companies are not listed. Three Valley Meats, Tasmanian Oyster Company, or BHP. So they've got investment in BHP. So those are strategic investments. So interesting that Cobram is one of the biggest investments. They have a few private equity funds, but not overly big. Pacific Coast Shopping Centre portfolio. So that includes Port Macquarie and Coffs Harbour, looks like, and that's valued at $188 million. Other direct properties, Sawtell Commons, something in Coffs Harbour. So it looks like they're really focused on the north coast of New South Wales and a little bit of cash. So that equates to about almost $200 million of assets on their book. And the markup cap of this company is below that level. So you could buy this company below asset backing. Anything else in this? Oh, they go through into detail in regards to their investments. Okay. That's all I'm going to talk about GOW, a company I've never heard of before, never had a look at before. Not my favorite type of company, but you could maybe make a case that this company is trading below fair value right now. Anyway, so profit after tax, 2.4 million. And probably can see if you look at the profit after tax the last 4 or 5 years, some years it's going to be down, some years will be up big. So I really won't look at that. I'd look at net assets and how that changes over time. In fact, they've got that here. Net assets and net assets per share do fluctuate, and they haven't really increased all that much. 31st of July, net assets per share were at $3.64. Now it's $3.92. And in fact, the last 2 years, it has dropped from over $4 to $3.92. That's all I'm going to talk about when it comes to GOW. And I actually did plan for this to be a longer video. I won't talk about Nimoy because they're undergoing a takeover offer, I believe. But that company did release their Appendix 4C. So at the beginning of this video, I said that April was Appendix 4C or 5B season. But some companies finished their quarter at the end of February, not March. And we have seen about 2 companies release their Appendix 4C. I think those 2 companies released it today. One of them was Nimoy. So I won't look at that. And then the other company, Renogen. I won't look at that either. And I'm pretty sure if we actually open up this Nimoy Cotton Appendix 4C, I wonder if they do. Yeah, there it is. There it is. For the quarter ended 29th of February 2024. Yeah, so funny enough, some companies' quarters end at the end of February. That's why we have received 2 Appendix 4Cs to date. Next company I want to look at maybe is Dynamic Group Holdings. They released 2 announcements fairly close together. A leadership transition. Their CEO has decided to maybe follow his heart and go in a different direction. The reason I say follow his heart is because he says, or they've said, he's resigned to pursue another professional opportunity. Hopefully he's following his heart, his passions. That's the CEO, or the ex-CEO, Jeff Newman. And there's a new CEO now called Matt Freeman, but I wonder if he's interim CEO. Now, alongside this announcement, the company did release another more interesting announcement called Long-Term Drill and Blast Contract Award. This sounded interesting, and I think maybe the market might like it. Estimated to generate additional revenue of between $60 and $65 million, which seems a lot. But this company has been under stress the last few years, share price in a well-defined downtrend. The market didn't like this company at all, or this announcement. Markup $27 million. I would say this company is looking really cheap, but for some reason the market doesn't like it. And even though I think it might be cheap, this is the chart. This is the weekly chart, well-defined downtrend. And just keeps on going. People just keep on selling, no matter what. So no reason for me to get excited about this company just yet, even though I think this company could be really cheap right now. $27 million, PE ratio of 3.6. Anyway, so possibly a company to keep on your radar. Dynamic Group Holdings used to be called Dynamic Drill and Blast or something like that. So they're a drilling and blasting company, hence the name Dynamic Drill and Blast. But they have made a few acquisitions in the past, about 2 or 3 maybe. The next company I want to look at is Osteopore. Osteopore was a company that increased, their share price increased 311%. And then today, their shares were put into suspension, which is weird. A lot of times you'll see a company shares be put into a trading halt and then suspension after about 2 or 3 days. We saw that with another company today. But this reason why they've been put into suspension the day after the share price rallied 310% is interesting. This is the reason why Osteopore has been put into suspension. Has to do with the lodgement of their half-year and full-year report. Due to unexpected delays in completing the annual report due to compiling information requested by the company's auditors, the directors do not consider that trading of the company's securities should occur while the annual report remains unlodged. So very interesting few days for Osteopore. This is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not sure what the auditors have seen, but maybe the auditors want some clarification on something. I don't know. I don't follow this company at all, but I'd assume when a company has a markup of $3 million, and I'm assuming also share price is almost, after increasing 310% yesterday, it's not near an all-time low, but I would assume this company doesn't have much revenue. We could actually look that up. Let's do it. Let's see how much. We'll have a look at this company's most recent Appendix 4C. I'm assuming they did a 4C. There it is, the 4C. Just before that 4C, they achieved 100,000 implants to accelerate commercialization. They did a consolidation and split, by the way. Okay, let's have a look at their most recent Appendix 4C. I could have a look at their half-year report, but did they release it? No. All right, let's have a look at their half-year report. So $581,000 of receipts, $2 million in the year, and still burning through a fair bit of cash. They've increased their borrowing, so they do have a bit of debt here. And debt is 1.1 million, so not too big, but based off this, I wouldn't be interested in Osteopore just yet, and I think the market is not interested in the company anyway. So that's Osteopore. AVA Group. So I think I mentioned yesterday they went to trading halt to do a capital raising. I wasn't really thinking about AVA Risk Group, I just went to Hot Copper just to see the feelings and to see if anyone had information on what the capital raising is or will be, what price and how much. And then there was a lot of negativity in that forum about AVA risk group, particularly towards the company giving back their shareholders a significant dividend a few years ago and now doing a capital raising. And in a way, I agree with their sentiments. That's really bad capital management that you do or give your shareholders a dividend and then do a capital raising. Now, I'm pretty sure the company has gone through a management transition. So if you combine both management teams, it is really bad capital management that you sell a business and the proceeds from that sale of that business you give back to your shareholders in the way of a dividend, and then you do a capital raising. It's not good capital management decisions. And in my opinion, the main job of management is good or is capital management decisions. And this would be, in a way, bad capital management decisions. But I'm going to give the management team a bit of leeway here because it is a new management team. We just don't know. So this particular capital raising was only for $4 million, which is another really interesting amount. Very small capital raising at a discount of 15 to 20%. And I'd say the share price has decreased by 15 to 20%. It decreased 15% to where the capital raising price is, which is at 13 cents. So 13.5 cents. It happens a lot of times. Happens a lot. You do a capital raising at a discount, share price falls to the capital raising price. Share price falls at that percentage to that capital raising price. Not a shock. I am not going to partake in this capital raising at all with AVA Risk Group. I'm more leaning towards selling my shares in this company. The only reason I'm holding, I think I mentioned this yesterday, only reason I'm holding is because of some of their outlook statements. And if they can meet those outlook statements, I think this company will be cheap. But that's a big if. And you have Besra Gold had a response to ASX price and volume query, and I think that was because the share price took a massive dive. Let's have a look at Besra Gold. I actually remember doing maybe a video on this company. Was it last year? So this time last year, share price was on a massive tear. Share price went from like 5 cents all the way up to 45 cents, and the share price has fallen all the way down. And in the last 3 trading days, share price has fallen a fair bit from 14 cents to 9 cents. So this was the ASX coming to Besra Gold and saying, why is the share price falling on large volume? The last few days, last 2 days especially, the volume has really ramped up. And more than likely, Besra says, we have no idea. Let's see if that's what they said. Besra, response to ASX price and volume query. Just above that, they did release another announcement. Exploration program preliminary results. Is that the reason why the share price tanked yesterday? Was there some loose lips? Let's have a look at what they said. This could be, without even looking at, this could be one of those occasions where question 1 is answered yes. We did have some information that we had not released, some price sensitive information that we had not released to the market. And here is that announcement right now. Okay, let's have a look at the announcement. Or what they said. No, actually, in fact, in question 1, they said no. And then they released an announcement. And in question 3, so question 2 is going to be not applicable. And question 3 is there any other explanation could explain why the share price has absolutely collapsed? And they actually say something here. So Besra Gold is aware of a press release dated 24th of March. So that's like 4 days ago. That states that Securities Commission Malaysia has directed Quantum Metal Exchange founder and director Lim Kong Sun and Lim Hock Sang to immediately desist the offering of QMEI shares to the Malaysian public. I have no idea why this is related to Besra Gold, but it might be in some way. And they go on and on and on here. I'm not going to go through all this. So they do have a possible explanation around why the share price has tanked. And in fact, I have some other questions here. Question 1, in regards to the drilling results. So this I might need a little bit more time going through Besra Gold and what they actually released. Zoono, well, Zoono's interesting. A response to ASX query letter. Now, I wish, I bought some Zoono shares, the start of March at 3.5 cents, because the share price of this company has gone from 3.5 cents to 12 cents in less than a month on pretty good volume. What's happening here? I have no idea at all what's happening with Zoono. They haven't really, if I remember correctly, they haven't really released anything that I can remember to explain it. So let's have a look. More than likely they've received a price query. They did a capital raising, significant exclusive agency agreement with OSY Group, 6th of March. Is that the only reason why the share price has gone up? That was here. Share price on that day went from 3.5 cents to 4.5 cents. And the share price has gone on a tear. Now, in saying all that, look at the chart. Whoa. Wowzers. Share price of this company has dropped from $3.25 during peak COVID-19 times in July 2020, because this company sells desanitizing cleaning stuff, antimicrobial technology. And so back in 2020, the products of this company were all the rage. You can see that in the revenue of this company. Let's have a look at the revenue. Back in 2020, $36.4 million of revenue, profit of $15.8 million. And then last year, $3 million of revenue. So maybe we're now at the point where we need more of the stuff they're selling, because everyone bought too much. They had massive amount of stock. I don't think the stock would go bad. It's not like perishables or anything like that. So maybe the market is now understanding that their products are now wanted again. I don't know. Unusual trading in Zoono. I hadn't planned of actually talking about Zoono. Another company called, I think I spoke about this company, definitely spoke about Many Peaks. Trading halt, don't have to really open up this because capital raising. Share price went on a massive tear, and that's exactly what management should do. They should do a capital raising after share price has increased a significant amount. And then the announcement I was looking out for, and for those who have not or do not know, when the market opens at 10 o'clock, I go do other stuff. And there was an announcement I was waiting for. That was from Clarity Pharmaceuticals, completion of placement and institutional retirement offer. I forget what I said. I said if the shares fall to something like $2.70, I will take a position in Clarity Pharmaceuticals. They released the announcement at 10:04 a.m. and I completely missed it until I came back to the computer with 20 minutes to go. And I was so upset when I saw what happened to the share price today with this company. Oh, let's have a look at the chart. So, for clarity. So now maybe I could buy in the next few days because the share price is not that much higher. So let's have a look at the 5-minute chart. So shares would have started trading at about 10:15 a.m. And in that first 5 minutes of trading, now maybe 9:20 a.m., share price went all the way down to $2.60. So if they released this announcement just 5 minutes earlier, I would now be a Clarity Pharmaceuticals share or shareholder. And more than likely, I would have bought about $2.70 because I would have put a bid in at about $2.70 and it would have been hit. And then the share price rallied. Share price got down to $2.75 now. Am I right? Yeah, $2.75. So maybe I'll just take a position in this company on open or near open on Tuesday. Exactly the announcement I was waiting for. And if I do take a position in Clarity, well, then likely will, it's going to be for the longer term. It's going to be for 5 years, 10 years from now. So it's going to be a small position. And then if things keep going well for this company, I'll build up my position over time. Okay, that's all I've got for you in regards to announcements. Let's have a look at the best performing companies. I have a feeling I've gone through all these. Yeah, I actually am not going to go through this. I'm pretty sure I've gone through all this. And now I am going to talk about my next few videos I'm going to release. So I have planned to release a few Appendix 4C videos. I have a few that I've already prepared. I've had these prepared for like 2 months. So Bellevue Gold, Frontier Digital Ventures, Aroa Biosurgery, and Credit Clear. So those are some of the videos I hope to release in the next 4 days because we have 4 non-training days. Also want to release a financial year 23 video on Ready Tech. I have that prepared as well. And then probably a few other companies, including the best performing companies over the 10-year period between 2013 and 2023. That is a series that has been ongoing for me over the past year or so. Before we close this video, I'm going to show you two charts. And the first chart I want to show you is Mesoblast. Again, proof that technical analysis does work. I think we have to look at the 5-minute chart. Yep. Okay, so let's have a look at the daily chart first. So the company released something important on the 26th of March. Share price closed on that day at about 48 cents, which is right on a very important support level or resistance level for this company. It's resistance. Now it might be support. So resistance and support levels can change to the other one if we see share price break out. Then the next day, the share price possibly broke out. Share price retreated all the way back to 48 cents. In fact, the low on the day was 47 cents. And then today, share price has increased 12%. So I think there's validity to say Mesoblast share price has broken out. And I think maybe we have seen confirmation in the last 2 days. And if you look at the 5-minute chart, you can see there's the company releasing the announcement. Share price went on a beautiful tear in the first 2 hours. It got to 48 cents and it had trouble getting above 48 cents. You know, she's seen share price going above and below that line for about 2 hours. And then it went above on open on the Wednesday and then sort of went down and down. And then in the afternoon on Wednesday, the share price got to 48 cents again. And that was the support level. That was the old resistance level. Now it became support. And I think there would be some traders who knew this, and we saw some strength in the share price at that level, and the share price has taken off again. So interesting chart when it comes to Mesoblast. A nice breakout for the company. I would prefer it to be on good financial news. I wouldn't necessarily say this is good financial news, but really big volume coming in. Share price at a 6-month high. In fact, the share price is now at almost a 7-month high. So Mesoblast. And the last chart I want to show you today is CUE Energy. This is an interesting one. So I actually did take a trading position in this company at 11 cents, or no, it was 10.5 cents. And then I sold at 11 cents just to take a very small profit. The main reason I sold fairly quickly is because the company was going to go ex-dividend, a 2-cent dividend, and I thought the share price will fall below 9 cents. So I sold at 11 cents, a 2-cent dividend, share price will fall below 9 cents. And when the company went ex-dividend on, I can tell you the date exactly, the 21st of March, 2024, share price actually opened at 8.3 cents. And then share price rallied all the way back up to 9.9 cents. I was like, what's going on here? And then I've just noticed, because this is the first time I looked at the chart until today, the whole reason this is chart of the day is because I was a little bit surprised to see this company was among the top losers. That's how I realized this company was there. So if you do it by market cap, so Zip was one of the worst performing companies on the ASX. But if you do it by market cap, there's CUE Energy, down 7.7 cents. And I saw the share price went, oh, 8.4 cents. That was sort of the level we saw back when they went ex-dividend. Share price on that day went to a low of 8.4 cents. Share price also on that day went to a low of 8.3 cents. When it opened, they released some really good some good results or something on the 29th of February. So that would have been half-year results. The share price opened at 8.7 cents, went to a low of 8.4 cents. So 8.4 cents for CUE Energy is an important level. So 8.4 cents on the 29th of February was a low. 8.3 cents was a low when they went ex-dividend. And the share price right now is at 8.4 cents, went to a low of 8.3 cents. So this could be a sneaky buy. So a lot of those who just want to take the dividends have probably sold out. And the very fact that now the share price is more than 2 cents lower than it was when I sold just means I might take a sneaky position in this company, because I don't think it's going to fall back to 6.5 cents, what it was before they released those good results back in February. Anyway, time is now 3:58. This video has been ongoing for almost 50 minutes. I intended this to be a little bit longer video because no video tomorrow. So if you have any questions, I will be doing a question and comment video either on Friday or Saturday. I am doing 2 night shifts, Friday night and Saturday night. And don't be sorry for me because I get very good pay, double time and a half on public holidays. So I love working public holidays, by the way. But if you do have any questions, leave those questions in this particular video and I'll answer your questions or any comments. Leave them in this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified. I had a hard time getting that word out yesterday. And find someone who's qualified and can do what he has to do or she has to do to fit your needs. Anyway, that's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.